Hey everybody, discussion forum number 3 with week 3. This week I wanted to make this kind of fun. Uh, and sometimes there is communication via storytelling. There are actually books written on that, how to present using stories. And I always like to do stories whenever I would present to uh, my teams, and I would start with a story to get them hooked into what I was talking about. And then at the end, I would tell a story to apply the concepts that I talked about. And so um, I wanted to see how you approach this, and in particular from a career story perspective, because that's something that you all know. I mean, it's something that you know more about that topic than you do many other topics. And so I just want to talk briefly about mine. If you saw my introduction to the course, you know I've had a broad history from corporate business to private business ownership, owning a hotel and a fine dining restaurant, to working in vocational ministry, to consulting, and have been teaching now for 13, 14 years. And uh, just the key message that I wanted to send through that. So as I go forward, and sort of the takeaway, I think I put in the instructions. You could make this a cautionary tale, or you could make it however you wanted to do it. But I just wanted to be an encouragement on mine. And the encouragement that I give you is don't be afraid to change, um, and don't be afraid to adapt. As I got out of college initially, I thought I was going to be a commodities broker. I have my degrees in finance, and I didn't get anywhere close to that uh, because I changed. And um, and don't be afraid to um, adapt as you get older too. I mean, obviously, life is something that early in your career you may have a spouse and kids and everything else, and so you have to operate in a certain way. Um, but for me, I've always been a strong proponent of a concept called strength finders. Many of you may have read that book. If not, I encourage you to do it. One of the key books that's written about that is called Strength Finders 2.0 by Tom Rath. And what it does is it takes it's an assessment, it's a personal assessment, or where you answer a group of questions, and then what it will do is give you your top 5 strengths out of a list of 34 potential strengths. Now, the difference here is that they redefine what the word strength means. Historically, and probably what you're used to in business, is strength is typically referred to as what you're good at. But they stand that up on its head and say strengths aren't what you're good at, but it's what makes you strong. They are those things that when you do them, you're engaged, you're invigorated. You'd do it for free if you could, right? Um, and so let me give you an example. I'm really good at accounting. I can read a balance sheet, I can read an income statement backwards and forwards and give you all kinds of uh, indications from that reading. However, I hate accounting. Okay. So the historical definition, if someone would say, what's a strength? Well, David has a strength in accounting. Well, if you look at the Strength Finders definition of that, what makes me strong, that does not make me strong. As a matter of fact, get me as far away from it as you can. What makes me strong is strategy, is looking at the future, is competition. It's all of those things. So those things, when I do them, make me strong. And I've just been blessed to spend the last X number of years in higher education. I love what I do. I love connecting with students. I love looking at research. I love looking at problems and how to solve those, and looking at ideas on how to do that. So, in the Strength Finders definition of strength, that is a strength of mine. And Strength Finders backs that up. My top 5 strengths, according to Strength Finders, are strategic, futuristic, competition, relator, and achiever. And so I look at those things, and I'm just been blessed that I've been able to move to that later in my career. So my message to you is don't be afraid to change. Don't be afraid to look at things from a different perspective as you go forward. I look forward to reading your career stories this week in the discussion forums. Take care.